Now it's time for another Board Game Brawl preview with Nick Minahan, sponsored by BoardGameBliss.com. Hey now, my name is Nick, this is Board Game Brawl, and today we're going to be taking a look at a game that is currently seeking funding on Kickstarter. That game is called Roadkill Rivals, and is from Pygmy Giraffe Games. Now, if you like what you see throughout the rest of this video, I'm going to encourage you to go to the official Kickstarter project page. I'm going to have a link at the bottom of your screen now and at the end of the video, and also down in the description section of the video that will take you to the page. You can find out even more information than I could possibly tell you here, and hopefully you'll consider backing the project. Now, what is Roadkill Rivals? This is a competitive card game where, as the name implies, you are trying to get into your vehicle and run down a bunch of roadkill. But at the same time, you might also be trying to trip up your opponents by wrecking their vehicles and taking their animals away from them as well. You're all doing this in service of getting points and having the most points by the end of the game. Let me go ahead and give you a brief look at how the game is played. Then we're going to come back and I'll let you know my final thoughts. Alright, let me run you through Roadkill Rivals. Just as a reminder, this is a prototype version of the game, hence the reason there are no backs on the cards, but I just want to give you a taste of what the game is like using this prototype. Now, this is a competitive game where each player is going to be trying to get as many points as possible by the end of the game. The end of the game is going to occur when the main deck of cards runs out. Then you're going to add up all the cards that you have in your face-down scoring pile in your play area. Whoever has the most points is going to be the winner. If there is a tie, it's whoever has the most total cards, not just points, that will break the tie in their favor. Now, there are several different types of cards in Roadkill Rivals. I'll go ahead and show them to you. First and foremost, anytime you see this shield symbol up here, that is both the strength of the card and also the victory points that it's worth at the end of the game. Also, the key symbol means that this is a card that you can keep in your face-up hand. However, it also means that you can never have more than 3 keys in your hand at a time. If you would take a card that would put you over that limit, you have to choose and discard one of their previous cards. Now, vehicles, this one lets you wreck a smaller vehicle. The motorbike lets you take another turn as soon as you grab it, as well as being worth 2 victory points when you score it. Then you have animal cards like the possum, which is worth 3 points. It has 1 key on it. The rattlesnake has 2 keys, but it has a strength of 5 and victory points of 5, and it can kill weaker animals. Then you have roadside cards. Now, these will never go into your hand. Instead, if you choose to claim one of these, it will immediately go into the discard pile after you do its effect. The next player loses their turn, and you take another turn. These are just examples of some of the many cards that come in the game. How this is going to work is that on your turn, you're going to draw one of the cards from the community pile. So you could just say, all right, I'm going to take this vehicle, which is 5. It can wreck smaller vehicles. And you immediately replace the card that you took with a card from the deck. Now, assuming I had more than one card in hand, let's say it goes around back to me, and I choose to grab, let's say I just grabbed this one, and then I replaced it. And then let's say on my second turn, I now have this RV, and I have this animal here. I can go ahead and use my RV in order to claim this animal because it's got a higher strength. It has to be equal to or higher to. Then both of these cards are going to go into my face-down scoring pile. So already I have 9 points towards the end of the game. Now, if for some reason I didn't want to, or I didn't have another animal card in hand, and I wanted to mess with my opponents a bit, there's a couple of different things I could do. One is that I can have a big vehicle like the RV wreck a smaller vehicle that my opponent controls. Now, this takes your whole action for the turn. You don't get one of the community cards, and you don't get to score any points, but you can just go ahead and destroy another vehicle, and your vehicle will stay in your hand. Your opponent's has to go to the discard pile. Also, let's say that you had, if you remember my example, I showed you that there was really nasty animals like the rattler. You can do the same thing with the animals. The animals can go ahead and take out smaller animals that your opponent controls. Yours will stay where it is. Your opponents that are in their hand have to go into the discard pile. And this is how the game is going to go. You're going to keep drawing cards from the community deck, using your cards in order for your vehicles in order to claim animals and put them into your scoring pile, or to stymie your opponents by wrecking their vehicles or their animal cards. The game is going to end when when the last card is out of the deck. Then you get rid of the cards in the community pile. Everyone gets a chance to score the cards that they have in their hand, and that will be the end of the game. Whoever has the most points is the winner. Roadkill Rivals takes what could have been a very sort of a gruesome theme, but makes it very tongue-in-cheek and lighthearted. A lot of this has to do with the artwork of the game, which is very bright, very attractive, very family friendly. There's nothing gritty about it, and it just works very well for the type of game that this is. And speaking of that, mechanically speaking, this is a very light card game, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have a bit of edge to it. This is one of those games where you have to very carefully consider how you're going to draft cards from the lineup of cards in order to build up a strategy, because it's not just as simple as, okay, vehicle, animal, take it, points. You also have to worry about what your opponents are doing and seeing if you can trip them up as much as you possibly can. You also want to make best strategic use of the special ability cards, the roadside cards that may come out in the lineup, and trying to maximize getting extra turns, things like that, because in a way it is also a race to the bottom of the deck and whoever can get the most points at that time. There's some strategy to be had in trying to make sure that you have a bunch of high scoring cards in your hand at the end, because you'll get to automatically score those as well. And because of this, I think that the game is going to be very accessible to a lot of different people, to younger gamers, to families who just want something casual to play, casual gamers who are new to board gaming. You don't want something that's really heavy and deep. It's just a good gateway card game to other types of games as well. And because of the very tongue-in-cheek theme and the bright, colorful artwork, it's going to really appeal to those groups of people. So if you or someone you love is in that group and maybe you want to surprise them with a game like this, I would encourage you to go to the official Kickstarter project page. You can follow the link at the bottom of your screen now or down in the description section of the video. That will take you to the page. Find out more information about Roadkill Rivals from Pygmy Giraffe Games, and hopefully consider backing the project. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. And make sure to check out our sponsor, Board Game Bliss, where you can find an amazing selection of games from around the world. BoardGameBliss.com. Thanks for your support.